As we age, it's natural to want to be open with our loved ones, believing that complete transparency is always best. But the truth is, some things are better kept private, not out of secrecy, but out of wisdom. Not everything needs to be shared. And in some cases, keeping certain things private can protect your peace of mind and relationships. In this video, we'll explore 5 things you might want to keep private after age 65. These aren't about deceiving or excluding others, but about maintaining independence, avoiding unnecessary stress, and ensuring your personal boundaries are respected. You might be surprised by the peace that comes from keeping some things private. Stay tuned until the end, because understanding these 5 things might change how you interact with your family, giving you more freedom and peace in your later years. 1. Financial decisions and assets. As we age, one of the most sensitive topics is money. You might think that being completely transparent with your family about your financial situation could prevent misunderstandings, but in reality, it often creates more problems. Sharing every detail about your savings, investments, or even how much you're leaving for the future can lead to unsolicited advice, pressure, and even family conflict, especially when different generations have different perspectives on money. Some family members may have good intentions, but their concerns or opinions can start to feel like interference. In some unfortunate cases, previously distant people suddenly become very interested in your finances once they realize what you have. You may have seen this scenario. Someone in your age group shares their financial plans with their children, only to find every decision they make questioned. Perhaps you've watched friends endure constant pressure about how they should be spending their money, whether they're being told they should downsize, change their investments, or set aside more for grandchildren. Getting advice when you ask for it is one thing, but it quickly becomes frustrating when people begin to think they have say in your personal choices. The reality is, once you let people know your complete financial situation, you can't take that information back. There's also the issue of personal control. If your family begins to see you as someone who isn't making the best financial decisions, they might feel justified in stepping in, sometimes with good intentions, but not always in ways that respect your independence. You might hear comments like, "Are you sure you should be spending that much? Or wouldn't it be wiser to give some money now rather than later?" Even if no one puts direct pressure on you, simply knowing that others are watching and analyzing your choices can feel uncomfortable. This doesn't mean you should never talk about finances with your family. Having clear estate plans and communicating necessary details at appropriate times is wise, but you don't have to share everything. The exact amounts you have, how much you spend on yourself, or whether you've made a new investment are all things for you to manage. If keeping some financial matters private allows you to enjoy life without unnecessary opinions or pressure, that's not secrecy, it's wisdom. 2. Non-urgent health issues. As we age, it's natural to experience more health issues, and sometimes we have the impulse to share every little ache or discomfort with our family. After all, they care about us, and we want to keep them informed about what's happening. However, there's a difference between keeping loved ones informed of important medical matters and burdening them with every small issue. Constantly sharing every minor health concern can sometimes create unnecessary worry, stress, and even lead to family members starting to make decisions for you before it's necessary. You may have experienced this, mentioning a small issue like joint pain or fatigue, only to find yourself suddenly embroiled in debates about whether you should see a doctor, change your diet, or take new supplements. Family members, especially younger ones, usually mean well, but their concern quickly turns into pressure. Before you know it, they're researching treatments, scheduling appointments, and even making comments like, "You really need to take better care of yourself," as if you haven't been managing your health just fine for decades. There's also the psychological impact. If you consistently talk about your health problems, even minor ones, your family may begin to see you as declining faster than you actually are. They might start treating you differently, assuming you're more fragile or incapable than you actually feel. Once people see you in that light, it's hard to change their perception. Suddenly, they become hesitant to include you in certain activities, question your ability to travel, or suggest you might need extra help, all because you mentioned that your knee was bothering you more than usual that day. Of course, communicating significant health issues is important, especially when they affect daily life or require family support. But choosing to keep minor issues private doesn't mean you're being dishonest. It just means you're protecting your autonomy. You have the right to manage your health without unnecessary intervention or pressure. Sometimes, silence is the best way to maintain control over your own health narrative. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, comment too below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue to create great content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move on. 3. Your true thoughts on family conflicts. Family dynamics can be complex, and as we age, we often find ourselves drawn into situations we never asked to be part of. Siblings arguing over inheritances, adult children holding grudges, dysfunctional extended family members. These happen in almost every family. When you live long enough, you see patterns repeat, old wounds resurface, and history replay itself. You might be tempted to step in, offer advice, or share your exact thoughts on who's right and who's wrong, but more often than not, doing so only adds fuel to the fire. Perhaps you've experienced this, trying to mediate a dispute, only to find both parties suddenly turning against you, or offering a strong opinion, thinking you're helping, only to realize later that your words were misinterpreted. The harsh truth is that family conflicts have a way of resolving themselves, or not, regardless of your opinion. When people eventually move past the shadow, they tend to remember what was said in heated moments. If you take sides or express strong opinions, you might find resentment toward you lingering long after the argument has been forgotten. This is especially important when it comes to opinions about younger family members. Voicing your true thoughts about a son-in-law, how your daughter is raising her children, or a relative's life choices might feel honest in the moment, but those words have lasting impact. People rarely forget how they felt when they perceived they were being judged or criticized, even if your intentions were good. What feels like helpful advice to you may feel like rejection to them, potentially creating emotional distance that might never heal. That's why one of the wisest things to do after 65 is to practice selective silence. You don't have to agree with everything or pretend problems don't exist, but you also don't have to comment on every family situation. Sometimes, the best response isn't to offer an opinion, but to simply say, "I hope things work out for the best," or "I trust you'll make the right decision." This keeps you connected without becoming entangled in drama that ultimately isn't yours to resolve. Keeping certain thoughts private may be the key to maintaining peace, not just for your family, but for yourself as well. 4. Regrets about the past. As time passes, it's natural to look back, reflect on choices made, opportunities missed, and roads not taken. Regrets are something everyone experiences in some way, but that doesn't mean they always need to be shared, especially with family. You might have the impulse to talk about things you wish you'd done differently, whether it's how you handled your career, how you raised your children, or decisions that shaped your life. But what you see as honesty or self-reflection can sometimes be misinterpreted by those closest to you. When parents or grandparents express regrets about the past, children often take it personally. If you mention wishing you'd spent less time working and more time with family, your children might hear, "I wasn't a good enough parent." If you say you regret not moving to a different city or pursuing different dreams, they might see it as an indirect expression of life with them wasn't fulfilling, even if that's not what you meant. These words can linger and create unnecessary guilt or resentment. The same goes for relationship regrets. Talking about past loves in what seems like a harmless way can make your spouse or family feel like they were second choice. Even reflecting on estranged friendships or missed opportunities can change how people see you. They might no longer remember the strong, resilient person they've always known and start to view you as someone dwelling in the past. That's why some regrets are best kept private. It's okay to think about them, process them, and even learn from them, but dwelling on them in front of family doesn't change what's already happened. More often than not, it only burdens the people who love you. The past can't be rewritten, but how you carry it forward is entirely up to you. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, comment for below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue to create great content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move on. 5. Your complete financial situation. Money is one of the most complicated topics in any family. It can bring people together, but it can also create tension, misunderstandings, and even conflict. As you age, you might feel the need to share more details about your financial situation with your family, whether it's how much you've saved, what you plan to leave behind, or financial difficulties you're facing. While discussing certain financial matters makes sense in some cases, being too open about money can sometimes do more harm than good. One of the biggest risks of revealing too much about your financial situation is that it can change how people treat you. If your family knows you've saved a substantial amount, you might find some relatives begin to see you differently, perhaps even expecting financial help or subtly hinting at what they hope to inherit. On the other hand, if you reveal that you're struggling, you might find your loved ones becoming overly concerned about you, or in some cases, even questioning your financial decisions. Either way, money has a way of changing relationships, and once that happens, it's difficult to undo. There's also the issue of independence. The more your family knows about your finances as you age, the more entitled they might feel to give you financial advice, whether you've asked for it or not. Some might even begin to make decisions for you, thinking they're helping when in fact they're taking away your ability to manage your own affairs. You might suddenly find yourself being told where you should live, how you should spend your money, or what's best for you, all because you shared details that in hindsight might have been better kept private. Of course, this doesn't mean you should keep everything secret. Having a trusted person, such as a financial advisor or executor of your estate, properly documented and informed of your plans is wise. But beyond that, the best approach is usually to share only what's absolutely necessary and no more. Keeping certain details private allows you to maintain control over your financial future while avoiding unnecessary stress, tension, or unwanted advice. If you've ever noticed how discussions about money can change the way people interact, you already understand why this is one of the most important things to be mindful of. In the end, your finances are yours to manage, and keeping some details private ensures that your relationships with family are based on love and respect, not financial expectations. As we conclude this video, take a moment to reflect on the 5 things we've discussed. Keeping certain things private isn't about secrecy or distance. It's about protecting your peace, dignity, and relationships. Not everything needs to be shared, and sometimes the wisest choice is knowing what to keep to yourself. Think about your own life. Have you ever shared something with family, only to later realize it changed how they viewed you? Or have you kept something to yourself and later realized that was the right decision? Wisdom often comes from experience, and as we age, we understand that some things are best left unsaid. The beauty of older age is that you gain clarity about what truly matters: your peace of mind, independence, and the quality of your relationships. Selective sharing allows you to maintain control over your own life while keeping strong connections. It's not about excluding people. It's about preserving what makes those relationships meaningful. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below sharing one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts matter to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us tremendous motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue to create great content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.